Hi everyone, this is Tattoos in Vancouver. My name is Linton Chan. I'm here with Michael Stankos, and he's going to take a tour of his tattoos and his journey to them and the meaning behind them. So, Michael, could you tell us the beginning of your tattoo journey?
Okay, well, honestly, my very first tattoo was a talisman. So my background is Ukrainian, Eastern European, Slavic to be honest, and because that means Polish, that means Russian, that means Ukrainian, and we're all mixed. There's no real true one group anymore, although it's all organized by language groups. So my family came from Eastern Europe after World War I, and we're Ukrainian people. So our region had a symbol called the Trident or Trident, and it's like goes back to ancient times to a group called the Trypillians, and it was probably Poseidon's trident.
Okay.
Right? This is the idea.
Yeah.
But when our people moved into the region where the Trypillian culture existed, they adopted a lot of their symbols and a lot of their cultural motifs. So they also adopted the trident, and it became a symbol of actually also the Swedish Vikings, which was kind of interesting. So when I was a kid, I always had a little gold one that I wore from the time I was like 12 and up. Right? And then anytime I lost it or couldn't find it and didn't have it, I would get into trouble. Something bad would happen to me.
Okay.
It's as if the spirits or something waited for that to happen, and then they were able to get me. So I thought, geez, this has got to stop. So when I was about 18, I had like this life crisis and everything, and my trident had broken.
Oh, okay.
And I totally accredit it to this, thinking this must be the source of my bad luck, and this is the whole situation. So I said, well, how do I get rid of this in the future? Well, let's get a tattoo. First tattoo, let's do it. So I got a Trident. So my Tirozub is right here. And again, so this is most likely a symbol of Poseidon, but was turned into the pitchfork of the devil because the people who lose in the battle become the evil one, right? That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So think that the Greek people fought against the Trojans, and the Trojans were probably the children of Poseidon, and this goes back to this whole warring factions from our ancient past. So now it's the symbol of Ukraine, and I have it on my chest, and it keeps me safe and strong.
Okay. And you wanted to keep it on your chest because it's
on my
close
heart.
to your
exactly,
heart. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
And that's the thing is now I realize that it's maybe showing my affiliation or my people's connection to this ancient being.
Okay.
Which is interdimensional. We can go into that aspect, and that's what I mean. Where it goes for me, anyways.
I notice moving on from that. That's a good tattoo to represent your heritage and where you're from. I noticed you have some writings on your arms, some kanji.
So this was actually my second tattoo.
Second tattoo, okay.
And it says, in Japanese it's Sanshi Heiho, and in Chinese it's Sun Si Bing Fa.
Okay.
It's the title of a book. So when I was 19, 20 years old, I was living in the lower mainland, and I was going from like different types of labor jobs to different types of kitchen jobs, and did that through my 20s. But that wasn't my focus in my life. My focus in life was training. My focus in life was I was studying MMA, I was doing mixed martial arts. We were doing pancration style striking, so it was kind of a hybrid version of kickboxing, and we were doing Roman Greco wrestling with jiu-jitsu submissions. And I was involved in that, and at the same time I was learning how to do strength training. So one of the older guys came up to me, and he's like 10 years older than me and this and that, and he's been doing this for a long time, and he gives me a book. And he says, if you learn this book, you'll succeed in life, you'll do really well. And it was The Art of War.
Okay, yeah.
That's the name of this.
That's
so I read it, and I was like, wow, this is a great book. Like, this is amazing, I love it. It's telling me that I need to prepare myself at all times for war. But actually fighting is the worst thing to do in the world. It's expensive for everybody involved. It causes damage that can be far-reaching into other people's lives, and it's a bad thing. But we need to prepare for it. The Art of War starts out that war is the greatest affair of state. It can't be avoided. You have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we can get around it, that's the ultimate. To win without fighting is the sort of principle of the Art of War. So once I had studied it for a few years, I actually wrote it out and mailed it to someone just as a way for me to copy it and really internalize it. Then I thought, okay, now I can get the tattoo. So this was my second tattoo.
Second tattoo.
And this introduced me to the artist that did my back. So again, I'm living in like Mission, BC, in these kind of like, you know, outwoods kind of places. And so the guy who did my back tattoo wasn't a tattooist at first. He wanted to do it, but he didn't have anyone to work with or experiment. Because there's not a lot of people that are like, hey, I've never done tattoos before. Oh, let me try on your back, or let me try on your arm. Most people are like, yeah, you know. But I was really brave, and I trusted this guy. And he was a traditionally trained artist. So he did like you know, like heavy metal comic book.
Oh,
have you ever seen that? It's like realism, and it's like Vikings, and it's like crazy, like art. Like it's not cartoony at all. It was like, you know, Western graphic novel kind of thing, right?
Okay.
That's what he did. But he hadn't done anything on skin before.
On skin before, so.
So then we start hanging out. He's talking to me, I'm talking to him, and I'm like, yeah, I want a back piece. I've always wanted a back piece. You know, there's something for me to symbolize my life and what I want to do in this world. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. So we start talking and collaborating, and then he's like, okay, how do you want it done, and this and that, and we go through it, and then I just give him the idea, and we start working on it.
Okay.
Right? So then that took about 2.5 to 3 years to finish, and I'll show you in a second. But the way it works was, with a tattoo, you can't really do anything when you get a tattoo. You need to let it heal before you can be active, especially if you're sweating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I would get like 4 or 5 days of work, and then I would train for like a month.
Okay.
And then I would get like, because when you're training hard, you don't want to break up your training.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to sit around for a week now. Like, it really sucks. So I would train sometimes a month, sometimes 2 months, and then go back in for another session.
Okay.
You know?
Could I ask, before we go into the back tattoo, I think I'm gonna have to split this off into two because the battery's low. But can I ask where you got your the Trident tattoo?
Well,
and,
all the same kind of thing. Like, as I'm involved with these guys who are training, like the Trident tattoo was done in someone's house. So was the back piece. Like, it's all done in people's houses. Like, it's like we're not going to a tattoo shop. These are people who they're doing it on their own. They have their own guns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like it's done in shops.
On shops. Okay.
Yeah.
So
the first guy looked like Jesus, though.
Oh, okay.
Really long hair. His name was Brad Sandry.
Yeah.
Really lean guy. Great artist. That's the thing. He's an artist, so he's drawing all day. He's got a hunched over back. Really bad posture. But yeah, and he had long hair. He looked like Jesus.
Yeah. And your Art of War tattoo?
That was done by Mark. That was the first one that Mark did, Mark Lowe. And then Mark did my back.
Oh, he did? Okay.
And then someone else did this one, but I can't quite remember. Oh, it was a young guy that was training with me. He was training jiu-jitsu and kickboxing as well. And he was had done tattoos before. So we were talking about it, and this was after Mark and I, Mark had moved somewhere else, and I'm in different places training with other guys. And then I said to him, but I can't remember his name right now. But I said to him, I just do this last tattoo for me, because I wanted basically like a temple, right? Like the body is a temple. So it's like the back piece is like the painting on the temple wall, or the main mural, and then these are like the quotes or the slogans, right?
Okay.
So just to show you on this side,
okay.
I picked the characters. I was learning Chinese at the time, because when you're doing martial arts, there's all kinds of people around, and I knew this guy. His name's King, and he was in the Red Army as a kid.
Okay.
This guy is in his 80s, and he's just amazing. Like, his chi and his strength is crazy. He's the first person to teach me how to write kanji.
Okay.
But in Chinese. So I picked out the characters, and then he kind of helped me stylize them a little bit, and then I gave them to this other guy, and then he put it on, and we did it.
Okay. So Michael, I'm going to stop there, and then